We also have our personal social media. I am at Salt of the Street on Twitter and at alpaca_Donovan on Instagram. Collins at Big Bird Offie on both of those things.
All the things, baby.
All those things. I say it too. You got to slow it down like a half a second. That's what I think.
Just a half.
Half a second.
You're not Ben Shapiro, bro. Tone it down.
Yeah. Our sponsor for this segment is Location Skate Shop in downtown Bremerton. If you need a skateboard or anything that goes along with that, clothing, all that type of stuff, go there. I think that I'm going to go there and try and drop off some shirts and tell them I don't want money for them. Just sell them.
Give them out.
Yeah. Just sell them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't even want money.
Sell 'em.
Make all the profit. Keep all of the profit yourself. Sell them for whatever you want to sell them for. Keep all of the money. Just sell them here. Just let people buy them here. Make all the money yourself. I'll eat that, for some good free advertising. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
I might stop in there here in the next couple weeks.
Committee approved.
Yeah.
You want any screwball peanut butter
I'm
whiskey?
going to go with a beer, actually.
Okay.
And I think that's everything. So part 2, we're going to be talking about World War IIIs and stuff like that, but we're talking about something else in the break, right?
Yeah.
So you had to deal with your truck.
How to deal with my truck?
you had to deal with your truck.
I'm in the midst of experiencing what they call crime.
Yes.
So my lovely family heirloom of a truck, the nice Ford F-350 diesel 7.3. They don't make them anymore.
The big old boy.
Gone. Stolen from work. You were there at the moment.
In
I thought I was
in
going
15
crazy.
seconds.
It's a whole deal. And so we got everything on camera, the whole 9 yards. But of course, this is 2022, and there's absolutely no way that anything can basically happen. So it's gone. But now I'm in the process of trying to figure out which kind of vehicle to buy next. And there's your space blood, good sir.
Thank you very much.
And so I'm confronted with many issues. Cheers.
Cheers, sir.
Let's start off with the screwball. Yeah, much better.
God, that's a good beer.
Much better around here. I did Space Blood on the beer show last night.
Oh, I love it.
It's fantastic.
I love Space Blood.
But yeah, so I'm confronted with, what do I do now? Like, where do I go? Because I'm just so used to driving the biggest truck you could possibly find ever.
You were pretty sure for a minute you were going to get fucked by your insurance.
Yeah, I was. And
they came through.
They came through, and I obviously cannot go buy a brand new giant-ass truck with it. But that's, of course, that's just never going to happen. But
Right.
I didn't get as hard as I anticipated, and I have options available. But now I have to make some rational decisions here about what I want to do with my vehicle, right? Because the used car market is mad.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to pick up a car payment because I haven't had a car payment in a lot of years. Trying not to do that. And I think with the amount I'm looking at, I think it's doable, right? It's very doable, I think, for that.
I think that I paid just over that for my truck. I think just 2 over that. I paid 2
in another
over that.
era, too.
In another area.
Yeah. How many miles did you have on your truck when you bought it?
There was 61,000 on it. It's a 2011.
Wow.
Yeah, it was owned by an old man.
Yeah, that's hard to find right now.
Yes. All I'm saying is that those deals are out there.
They are out there. You can find. And you got yours from a dealer, though.
Yes.
From the homie.
Yep, from the same guy that Tim gave you the number of.
Yeah. So now I'm looking. I commute a lot more than I ever used to. So that's a huge thing. And I don't anticipate, I think as we might pontificate on as the day goes on, I don't anticipate fuel prices necessarily coming down any marketable amount. If anything, they're just going to go up. And so MPG, miles per gallon, is going to be a big factor to me at this point. I could save a lot more money.
Yes.
Driving that fucking giant-ass diesel back and forth every day from bumfuck out to where we work was a lot of fucking money.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
Far.
It's a ways. And most of that is like doing 50.
Yeah.
So it's a trek.
You're putting gas on it, yeah.
Yeah. And so we do that. So I look at miles per gallon, but then I also like to spend a lot of time out in the woods when I can. Mm-hmm. So like,
and you build stuff too.
Yeah.
You do
and so like
at your house.
The ability to haul a sheet of plywood is a thing. I'm not trying to have a piece of plywood cut up at Home Depot for me when I buy it.
Yeah.
I want to at least be able to strap it to like a roof rack at the very least, right? And it needs to have 4-wheel drive. Yes. So that I can go out and do that stuff.
Because it does snow here, too.
It does.
Almost every year it'll snow
Snow
for a good
and
2
ice
weeks.
for sure. Right?
Yeah, ice for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, getting up into the mountains, going on hunting trips. Like you have to have 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
It is a non-starter if you do not. You are very, very limited in access. So all those factors need to come into play, but also the idea I need to commute every day.
So I think that you should get a light truck, right?
Light truck is possible.
I used to have a Nissan Frontier, which is just the Nissan version of the Tacoma.
Yeah.
And it wasn't 4-wheel drive. I was given that truck. I would never buy a 2-wheel drive truck. You know this.
That's
But
a sacrilege. Why would you buy a
Horrible
truck
idea.
if it doesn't have 4-wheel drive?
But it did really good on gas mileage. I don't know. I wasn't ever calculating it, but we drove it from here to Oregon multiple times, and it did fine.
Good. I think
and it was,
truck had, depending on which, it was like 10 to 16 max.
Yeah, no, and that's a light truck is going to be way better than that, like over 20.
Ooh.
And
Don't hate me. I looked at some Jeeps last night.
I don't think a Jeep is going to do what you want it to. You're
I don't
not
think
going to
so
be able to
either.
haul that type of stuff, you know.
There's no room for it.
And Tacomas are so big right now, like they're so popular that there's even a place in Gorse that's called the Overland Truck Store, and they have specifically vehicles that can be like kitted out for the woods. They sell just a retarded amount of Tacomas.
That is the place where my truck
Was used to
was
steal
to
some.
something else. Yes.
So that place, yeah, they sell specifically trucks to be kitted out for the woods.
Yeah.
And so they sell a crazy amount of Tacomas because people will.
They're
very
nice. They're nice little trucks, man.
And they're very easy to kit out, to put a roof rack on it, to put a canopy, to do all that type of stuff. And
Yeah.
you can put a lift.
Because I don't need to
on it and all
haul
those
much.
things.
I just, there's no like trailer capacity towing, if you will. Like I don't need that. I'm not
No.
looking to buy like a camper trailer or anything
No.
like that. And
Tacoma,
tow a little boat. Can
Right.
do that in
Tacoma will do that.
No problem.
1000%.
Um,
And
but
if you
yeah.
throw a couple of sandbags in the back, you'll be fine.
yeah, there is one. It's a little older, but there is one over at that dealership. Kind of highest mileage that I've been able to find, but it's there and it's affordable. But I mean,
An
trying
old
to,
one, or like what kind of car?
it's like a 07, I think.
Tacoma, or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, but it's actually got a canopy on it, which was I don't
Well,
hate.
And
But
the great things about Toyotas, they're easier than hell to work on. Toyota's just super
Yeah.
easy to work on. The parts are very prolific, and they're, especially Tacoma. Toyota Tacoma, because there's so many of them. They're going to be very easy to find parts for. They're going to be real easy to work on.
yeah, that's
They're
yeah.
high enough
Buy
that
an
you
old
can-
truck from the 90s. Yeah, Bilbo,
Yeah.
that would be the problem though.
Yeah,
That would be the problem
that's
because
the problem. It's a good investment, but
can't do that right now.
Right.
Literally, that's the one that got stolen.
That's
And when I talked to the claims guy the other day, he's like, to like get the finalized paperwork started and all this
Yeah.
shit. He was like, I got another 3 calls today, and they're all from Washington State, and they're all late 90s era trucks. And I was
Yeah.
like, imagine that.
yeah.
Crime's a thing.
They're using them for crime, and then we're
Yeah.
parting them out. They're doing whatever. Probably just using them up and then part them out.
Yeah.
You know,
Because they fucking hold their value, which very surprised.
some old steel
Very
parts and
surprised.
shit like that.
Well, in the engine block alone, they literally do not make that engine block anymore, period. That big 7.3, they don't fuck with that anymore. You can go out and buy the biggest truck that you can as far as like a standard kind of retail vehicle. Big diesel F-350, they're not going to have that same size
Like
engine. It's a
6.5
smaller.
or something like that.
Yeah, it's like a 6.8,
maybe?
something like that. Yeah. I
'Cause
don't
they-
remember
I mean,
offhand,
that
but
truck was enormous.
it was big. She's a big girl.
Yeah,
She's a big girl.
yeah. I mean, you might have been able to wrap your
The tank.
arms around the front. Maybe.
Even
It
with
was-
my big bird
yeah, it
wingspan,
was a-
I don't know. All I do know is that if I was driving, and if I had something fall into like the passenger side, like wheel well area, cannot grab it. Cannot
It's
do it.
that big.
If
yeah.
I would have to get to a place, stop, take off my seatbelt, crawl over the center console, and then reach down and get it because that it was that wide.
Yeah.
Massive. So yeah. So now I'm in the strug session of like, what do I get? I looked at a couple like Jeep Patriots the other
Yeah.
night just because they had pretty decent gas mileage. They're affordable, 4-wheel drive, and it's like both of them had a roof rack on the top. So I'm like, okay, I can haul a kayak. I can put some wood on there. Big enough space in the back. Like if I need to load up with fucking topsoil and do that kind of thing, I could do that too. But Jeeps they're insanely expensive to maintain generally. But yeah, if I could find a nice Toyota Tundra, I think that's what I'll do. I think that's probably the route I'll go.
the Tacoma or the Tundra.
Oh, Tacoma. Sorry,
Yeah.
Tacoma.
I drive a Tundra. Tundra's great.
There's a really nice Chevy 2500 that I saw the other day.
Chevy's a good truck too.
Yeah, but it was like 186,000 miles on
Oof.
it. And I was like, and it's a gas
Yeah.
I'm like, at that point, what are we really doing here?
Yeah.
At least it had 4-wheel drive, but so yeah, we're there. That's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
I am a victim
Yeah.
of crime.
I bet if you bought a Rivian, you could get Tim to install a plug-in at Bennick so that you could charge your car.
Bro, I ain't trying to have those problems, bro.
There was people.
I'm not trying to take a Rivian up into the mountains for fucking 10 days.
They're supposed to be balling. I don't know.
Sit up there in the cold and have that battery be dead by the time. Hey, can I get a jump charge? Oh, it doesn't work that way, dude. Fucking Pete Buttigieg hadn't given us the infrastructure of the future yet, so that's not a reality.
It's not in the mountains. Yeah. There were some people that were at the bank that were buying a Rivian when I was there, securing financing for their Rivian.
I wonder if that they'd already fixed the recall, because that was a huge thing recently with Rivian. They recalled all of them.
Oh, they said they're getting it delivered in 4 to 6 weeks. So
not a bad turnaround.
Sorted out.
Shit. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, there's somebody in the neighborhood that drives one. I see it every now and again when I'm coming home.
Looking.
They don't suck.
Yeah, they're pretty cool looking.
And they got a longer range than most EVs right now. So that's a thing. I'm really uncomfortable. Just this will add, I think, to the World War III conversation. But I'm very, very uncomfortable with how fast the car world is 100% just choking down the D of the green energy plan and pure EVs in the near future. Everybody's got a new EV coming out. All of them, they're all pushing that way. And bitch, we ain't ready for that.
Well, if they
as far as the infrastructure goes.
We're not. But if they don't, they'll be regulated out of existence. They operate on such thin margins as it is.
Car dealerships car makers are tough.
If they don't do what the government is telling them to do, they will be regulated out of existence. And it seems to be that's what they're facing. And that's not to say that they couldn't
fight back.
Yes, they could.
There would just be some casualties along the way.
They could collectivize, and as the larger groups, Toyota, because Toyota's like along with Tesla, the most profitable car company I think certainly the United States, maybe the world right now.
Yeah. Well, they sell to everyone, everywhere.
Even the Taliban, everybody. They've been balling out.
I was going to say
money from everybody. Yeah, if they're balling out. So if they grouped up and they told the government, we're not doing this, like we're not ready for this, we're not involved, we're not going to whatever.
But ain't that the problem though? Is because for so long they've developed this incestuous relationship with the government for so many decades at this point that they essentially cannot push back against the government because the government will shut them down. Much like the airlines.
Point. Yeah, they're all bought out by the government in 2008, so they're slaves now.
Yep.
They are at the whim of the government. They have no choice.
Nationalize it, bro.
Yes, because something will happen. They will go under, and they will need the government to bail them out again. And
they're too big to fail.
And if they don't have enough EVs on their books, then the government's going to say, "Well, we done told you. You should have been making more EVs, and you don't have enough EVs now, and now you can't have any money."
It doesn't matter if we sell all these EVs because nobody can plug their fucking cars in at night because there's no goddamn energy to be had anymore.
Don't care. That's the issue with that, is that it's not. It's
they don't care.
No, it's a goal. There isn't an explanation. There isn't a logic to it. There isn't a questions even allowed as to what are we going to do about these factors that we haven't solved yet. It's don't worry about that. We need to accomplish this goal, and we'll figure it out on the way there. Which is not a way to solve an issue with such enormous, overreaching implications of the everything in people's lives, the way they drive, the way they live their lives, as far as the heating in their houses, everything is done that way. It's not, because when you ask someone the same question you've asked this many times, well, where do you get the power from? People fucking say things like, well, you get it from the wall. People really say shit like that because they don't think about where it comes after that. You get this power from all these fossil fuels that we're burning off because we don't have a way to do this better yet. Even California, you went over the whole thing on one of your first live streams of even the bastion of green energy. They still are mostly fossil fuels because they don't have their shit together. They have not figured it out yet. They just want to make it seem like they do so they can incentivize or scare people enough to just push them down the road so they can figure things out, and then they can just post articles on the way. Hey, by the way, we figured this out now. And no one is going to say, wait, you're saying you sent me on this mission without knowing if I was going to be successful. They're like, yeah, but don't worry about that.
How dare you?
Don't worry about that. Just keep going.
Yes. It's a whole deal. It's a whole deal. And I will
The
say
slave
this.
labor, that's a whole deal. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the
that's
slave labor.
It's a whole nother level of it that people
Bro.
only want to talk about if they're going to talk about Elon Musk.
Yes.
I only want to talk about slave labor if Elon Musk is the one
that
that's paying
point,
them.
To that point, because I got really involved in the world of ESG recently, right? I still subscribe to one ESG podcast that comes out on a weekly basis. And yesterday's episode was all about breaking down in this one particular company's view the ESG scores and their troubles, if you will, of Tesla. And how it's an enigma to the ESG world because it is so counterintuitive, blah, 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 this and that and the other thing. Because these people, they give ESG score ratings of A to F, as if you're in a school grade, right? And ultimately, they give Tesla an A, but there's like multiple asterisks and stuff like that because part of the big factor in their wavering support of investing in Tesla is the erratic nature of its CEO, Elon Musk, and how he can just go on a podcast one day or say something on Twitter one day and then can tank the stock overnight in 10%.
Get high and then it's all over.
Get high my ass. Anybody that ever smokes weed, no, Elon Musk did not smoke weed. He did. Well, he literally did the Bill Clinton. I didn't inhale.
Yeah.
Motherfucker didn't do anything.
It's like, I'm just trying to see what this tastes like.
Yeah. But it's really interesting because part of the thing they talk about is like, they brought up the mining aspect of getting that stuff and then the battery back of Tesla being like the main core to the actual Tesla company, and not necessarily the cars, but the batteries themselves and the storage of electricity, but having that problematic relationship with multiple countries that have massive human rights violations because of the mining rights and getting the minerals and things like that. It was a whole deal. But none of this stuff, dude, makes fucking sense.
Anybody else going to get it from?
There is there is one perk to this push towards EVs at this point, because we're going to have to go through some real hard times because we're not going to have any fucking power and no energy. And the only way we'll be able to get out of that is by forcing everything into nuclear, because all the greenies have backed off nuclear real quick because they don't got shit to say anymore because it's 2022 and this is like a miracle of science at this point. But that'll be the only way I think we can shift everything over to nuclear powers. We're going to have to go through real bad times and realize that we have to do nuclear. California they can't shut down their last nuclear plant because they're like, it's like 12% of our energy. We can't lose it, man. Sorry.
And as far as the metals go, it's going to turn into the same way that oil is now. That instead of just buying it or having our own subsidiaries in these countries where we're mining things, we buy them from China. You know, we don't involve ourselves with the mining and the dirtiness. We buy them from China. Same way we buy oil from China right now. Where are they getting the oil from? They're fucking getting it from Russia. Where are they going to get these? Where are they going to get all these precious metal from? They're going to get them out of their mines in fucking Africa. The same place that Elon Musk is getting the shit from. The same deal. He's just cutting out the middleman of China.
Yeah.
So he's going to continue to be more profitable. The government is going to continue to throw money into these other companies that don't want to involve themselves in the dirty deeds that go into electric vehicles.
Dirty deeds done dirt cheap.
All at the same time, the government's going to be like, we're balling right now. Because
we got this.
Green.
Best economy of our lifetime.
Yes.
More jobs created than ever.
It's going to be big. And they're going to say, plus globalism is the shit. And it's great. Us in China, we're freaking, it's great. We love it.
There was a speech Vladimir Putin did a couple days ago, and it was kind of like a weird victory speech, kind of based on the war in Ukraine, this, that, and the other thing, because he gets up there bragging about how, this might be a good segue into World War III, bragging about how...
I mean, I thought mine was a good segue. I'm just kidding.
I'm stealing it from you. He's bragging to a bunch of these homies, all in this Russian kind of big kind of forum type thing they got going on, about how they've been very successful in creating a more multipolarized power world at this point because of the damage that has been done to the West. And they said the West's power is the smallest it's ever been, and we have been very successful in creating this multipolar power structure around the world now, to that Russia has more power than ever, China has more power than ever, India has more power than ever, and it's all because of what he has done successfly in Ukraine, he says. It's done that because the West has dissolved itself in power so much at this point that it's not a global hegemony anymore. It is a power. The West as a whole is a power, along with a bunch of other world powers now.
And
that's been his goal. Well, that's what he says anyways in
Right.
this speech. That was his goal this whole time. And so that was his little victory speech that he gave.
Over the next 2 parts of the show, we're going to lay out how America is giving away the one thing that has really made us so great this whole time, the military, right? The different ways that we've been selling this out, not only just in Ukraine, but the ways that we've been selling ourselves out to all these different countries around the world to give away the one thing that was the cornerstone of American might and control in the world, the military.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's very good. So, yeah, so part 2, and then we'll start with...
Gotcha, bitch.
Talk about the drones real quick, because that's
Talk about
quick. And I'll
drones.
just kind of underline the stuff that we were talking about before. So last episode, we talked about it was supposed and alleged at the time, and now it seems to be confirmed because there wasn't proof that they were Iranian drones. But I have seen an article since that they have, let's see, this is from MSN, and this is Rotax engine found in an Iranian Mojahir drone down and over to Ukraine. So now they're like, this is definitely a Ukrainian drone. There's no doubt, or they're definitely an Iranian drone. There's no doubt about this.
Well, there's Iranian drone experts on the ground in Crimea.
Right.
So that's a thing.
Yes. The
Don't know why
drone
they'd be
experts-
there if their drones weren't there.
There are also Iranian servicemen there that have gone to show them how to deploy these missiles that are now, you know, first they're like, no, we're not selling any missiles at all, but they're sending people over there the same way they did with the drones.
Yeah.
They're like, well, this is how you fire these missiles.
It seems like almost like a weird kind of carbon copy of what the West is doing.
Yes.
We're going to send you
That's-
weapon systems, but then the experts to train you how to use and deploy these weapon systems.
I have here Iranian troops has also been sent to train Russia on how to use the drones. And then in quotations, this sounds familiar to me. Yes, sounds very, very reminiscent. It's almost like they're learning something from the most dominant military in the world. It's almost like that.
Multipolarized powers in the world.
Yeah, reports have shown after now confirmed following 2 meetings in September and October that Iran planned to sell missiles to Russia. We've now, because I'd seen the servicemen there to not only do the drones but how to launch the missiles. Obviously, Iran denies the drone sales. The missile sales have been confirmed at this point, not only from the evidence that we've seen, but there have been Iranian officials that have come out and said, yeah, we definitely sent those missiles over there.
And I'm going to say, go ahead, just put this on the table right now. It's only going to be a matter of time before they're like, yeah, we're there.
Yeah.
Because why would we not say that anymore? Our friendship is strong enough now that we can come out and be like, yeah, dude, we're there, just like you're there, asshole.
Yeah.
Say something.
Yeah. So, yeah, as far as the drones go, that's it. There's just no question anymore at this point that these are in fact Iranian drones. The drones are being sold. The missiles are being sold because Russia's starting to run low on medium to long range missiles because they're just firing hellfire over into Ukraine. So they're just kind of replenishing some of the missiles that they've sent over there. And just today, that's what you had up. Just today, Russia suspended their participation in the grain deal. They were allowing Ukraine to export grain to the rest of the world because of the bread basket of Africa or something like that, or bread basket of Europe, whatever you fucking. It's all the bread baskets around the world.
So
right?
many bread baskets.
Yes. So either way, Russia canceled their participation in this deal.
Nailed it.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of countries like Turkey, Egypt, a lot of those type of countries are the biggest exporters of grain. India, I believe, is another huge one. Countries that get an enormous amount of their grain from Ukraine.
Yeah.
So we'll see pretty quickly how this is going to continue to affect people again as we close into winter months in that part of the world. Well, all over the world. We'll see how this turns out.
Let's read this just for a second here. So from the CNN article, which obviously, I don't know, you just take it for what it is now. You get information dumps, and then you just try to holistically put them all together to figure out what's going on.
We
But
tell you
CNN
where
says,
the source is.
Russia will suspend its participation in the UN-backed grain export deal with Ukraine after drone attacks on Crimean city of Sevastopol, the country's defense minister announced Saturday. Moscow blames Kiev for the attack. CNN cannot independently verify Russia's report, and Ukraine has yet to acknowledge the incident. The United Kingdom has denied Moscow's claim that Britain helped Ukraine plan the Crimean drone attacks using Russia is pending false claims of a epic scale, or peddling false claims of an epic scale. Some background. In July, following months of negotiations, ministers from both Ukraine and Russia signed an agreement brokered by the UN and Turkey. NATO nation, Russia pledged to unblock ports of the Black Sea to allow the safe passage of grain and seed oils. That's good. Yeah, get them seed oils out there. Some of Ukraine's most important exports. The deal is set to expire next month, and Moscow officials have cast doubt on whether they will extend their participation. So the deal was already ready to be, it was already due to expire next month, so they're just backing out early at this point because of the drone attacks in Crimea. Because that is also, I mean, that's Ukraine is not just the only one being attacked by drones here.
Yeah.
And now it looks like there might be some fucking naval drone attacks down in Sevastopol on the Navy port down there via Ukraine against the Russians.
The UUVs, right.
Mm-hmm. That might be a thing. But, so yeah, drone warfare is in full effect at this point. I mean, you cannot say anymore. I mean, we had like a little taste of it over the last 20 plus years over in the Middle East, but as far as modern warfare is concerned, drone warfare is king at this point. I've heard about them. I haven't really gone and watched the videos, but like grenade dropping drones being flown around on both the Russian and Ukrainian side and finding little foxholes and stuff like that people are, sleeping in or whatever, and then just dropping a grenade and flying on.
Yeah.
Like the drone warfare is in full effect, and this is the age of modern warfare. This is one of the things we've been working towards. It's really starting to pull out the humanity involved in war, which is never a good sign in my eyes.
Right, and we were talking about that when you asked me last episode of like, I don't know if you asked me or if you just kind of posited of like, this is arguably more fucked up because it's just a drone being flown from somewhere into a building where people are dying, infrastructure is being taken out, that the humanity is taken out of that. I think that's very interesting. I think that's right, and that's one of the issues with the involvement of technology in warfare like this is that it's the gap is widened from the connection of one person killing another person. You don't have to face that anymore the same way that you did in World War II, where you were stabbing someone. The tunnel warfare we talked about in Vietnam, where the dude's choking somebody out. He has to live with that for the rest of his life. You know, if you're just some kid who's using an Xbox controller to fly a drone into a building somewhere, if you don't have solid morals, you might never even think about that again.
Oh yeah.
It's just a thing I did.
Well, you're just so disconnected at that point. I mean, it's even like the World War II era or even the World War I era, that was still so much further it was such a further disconnect from back when you had to go over and murder each other with knives and swords, in like Roman era or in antiquity, when the best way to kill somebody was to get up close and personal and then stab them to death. And then all of a sudden rifles came along, so on and so forth. And that distance between soldiers at that point, the dehumanization in war has become even more exponential. And now, even as Bilbo was talking about, the drones Russia are using are very low tech.
Hey, just fly and explode, yeah.
That's all you need, man. That's all you need is a fucking RC airplane with a bomb on it. Yeah. Done. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Probably better that way anyways. By the time you get this giant high-tech motherfucker that's flying around, it's got all these electronics and tracking devices and all this stuff, you've spent so much money and time developing that one tool of war. To do the job that you want it to do, you could do it for way cheaper and way low tech.
Right.
And then you can just spit them out left and right.
It's like the military equivalent of what they were the type of roadside bombs that they're dropping in the Middle East. The propane tanks with fucking nails slapped to them and a cell phone on the top. Like that's the type of shit that you're working with. It's not. It's just to get the job done. It's only just whatever you need to get it done because they're trying to save money. That's the whole point. They're still having to buy these things from Iran, even if they're not paying them right now, even if it's not cash. They're paying them in some fashion. So they're still going to try, and they're not making very much money, right? The Russian economy is surviving right now because they're finding ways to continue to export that natural gas. Yeah. But they're still struggling. So they're still having to try and save money and keep up this warfare at the same time. So they're not going to be working with Patriot missiles and all this type of stuff. They're working with the bare minimum that they can to get the job done. They were already using their older missile systems, and the only place they were hesitant to do that because the only place they could go to get more missiles was like North Korea because nobody else gets that shit anymore.
Exactly.
So,
well, and I think this, I didn't really think about this till just now, but Let's pull this up from the Wall Street Journal. Ukraine war is depleting U.S. ammunition stockpiles, sparking Pentagon concern. Again, you spend so much time. I'm not going to pay you, Wall Street Journal. You spend so much time giving all of this money to the military-industrial complex in the United States, where they can spend all this money on R&D and create all these high-tech, super crazy weapons where you need very, very few because they do the job of something what would have taken, thousands of this.
Right.
Now you can do it. One SEAL team with a pair of NVGs. I think when we were doing the book review for the whole Mountain
World War
Burns.
Z. Oh,
World War Z, maybe. It might have been that. But, like, you exponentially... Fuck, it might have even been a movie I watched. But, like, when you're dealing with this tribal warfare and all this stuff, one SEAL team with NVGs compared to an entire army of people that can't see in the dark,
yeah,
it's game over at that point. It's a one-way thing. It's the same deal. You have all this high-tech weaponry that takes years and years and years and years to build because it could do pinpoint this, it could do this, it could do that. Or you can just spit out a bunch of dumb weapons that do the same exact thing for super, super cheap. Our entire military-industrial complex is not geared for volume anymore.
Geared for money.
It's geared for money.
Whatever's going to make the most money.
Exactly.
And that's whatever has the most chips, the most technology, the fanciest stuff on it. The stuff that takes
really
the
hard
longest
to make.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's why the Patriot missiles in particular, we don't even make those right now. It's going to take them, I think it's Boeing or Lockheed that makes those. It's going to take them a few years just to get the production up and going again, because we don't make those missiles anymore, because they made a ton of them. They're like, well, that's all we're going to need because we only need so many. And now we've sold them all and we don't have any more.
That's cool.
And we can't get them from our own American company. This is the issue, not only with the military-industrial complex, but with the military-industrial complex, but with globalizing every facet of your economy, including your defense industry. You will sell things to anywhere. You will give them to anybody because they will pay them for you. They will pay you for them. You will even give them to the Saudis, to the UAE, to anybody because they will pay you for them.
I can't wait to talk about that.
Fucking nuclear submarine technology to a company who doesn't have nuclear capability other than a hospital because they will give you money for it. It doesn't matter. They don't care about this. They act as though it is all sacred. That's why they will prosecute an ex-president for confidential information, but they will sell you a literal technology for a fucking nuclear submarine when you don't know how to work it because you will pay them money for it. They don't care. This doesn't matter to them. They don't care that we don't have missiles to defend ourselves. They don't care that they don't care about any of these things. No.
It's not good.
No. So the first article I had this, when you were talking, I was looking for this particular article with this line in it because the SAS, the Special Air Service, which is like one of the special force aspects of the British military.
Bunch of badasses.
Yeah, have confirmed they are definitely, I've worn a sweatshirt on here before that has an ex-SAS member on there. Very cool.
He's the dude that was...
Christian Craighead.
Yes.
Yeah, he not single-handedly, he was in Africa when a terrorist attack happened, and he went through a mall with a couple other dudes and just cleared out all these guys and saved like hundreds of people from this mall. Absolutely incredible story. Christian Craighead, look it up. It's very incredible.
Not crackhead, Craighead.
Craighead, yes. So the SAS has confirmed that they are training members of the Ukrainian military, right? Not only that they're flying them from Ukraine to the UK to be trained, they also have SAS members on the ground there. I have a couple of different articles here. So this one is from, this one is actually from RT, and it's U.S. and UK
propaganda.
U.S. and UK conducting secret war in Ukraine, and this has to do with kind of both of our special forces there. I'll send you this one, and then there is another one from Al Jazeera that is Russia investigates report of SAS forces in Ukraine, and this was a while ago, actually. What?
I was just looking at the Dragon Ball Z memes we were throwing back and forth this morning. Pretty funny. Do you even know why Vegeta goes blue? You're probably out the game at that point.
It was that.
That's from Dragon Ball Super.
Oh, and I only watched a few episodes of that, and I wasn't super into it.
It's weird.
Yeah, with the cat person. What was that guy's name?
Don't do this to me.
You know what I'm talking about, though,
yeah,
right?
he's like the god of war or whatever
Something
at that point.
like that.
He's got a badass name, though. Remember that? He's like some cool Egyptian-looking cat.
Right.
Super dope.
Yeah, okay. And then I send you the Salty Boys one. So the first one is the RT article. And we don't necessarily have to pull up the Al Jazeera one, but the Al Jazeera has a paragraph in here that says the UK's military has been training Ukrainian forces since the 2014 annexation of Crimea.
Man, I should have put my VPN on before we pulled up this RT story.
That's what you get. That's what you get. The UK's military has been training Ukrainian forces since the 2014 annexation of Crimea. They were withdrawn in February to avoid direct conflict with Russian forces and possibly the NATO being withdrawn into the conflict. They were put back in like April.
It's so funny. I have another story pulled up from another outlet altogether, but it's based off the same reporter, the Le Figaro reporter.
So, yeah. So this article is from RT, but Colin, you were able to find it from a different news source, so
which is good to see that
we
it's
can confirm it.
Yeah,
yes.
and it's not a quote unquote Russian propaganda website. It's the same shit.
When I use DuckDuckGo, RT's going to come up first. They might have reported it first. Who knows?
RT has been always a good source to get the kind of more Russian sanctioned view on things.
Yes.
Because, even when Abby Martin worked back in the day, I mean, it's a good source to get somebody else's perspective.
Yes.
Period. Always has been, still continues to be.
So this is the RT article, U.S. and U.K. conducting secret war in Ukraine, and this is from April, right? And so like we said, SAS was pulled out in February. Mm-hmm. This is in April now. So elite special forces from the U.K. and the U.S. have been present in Ukraine since the beginning of hostilities in Russia in late February. Okay?
Surprise, surprise.
Okay. I'm going to...
Tap, tap, tap.
If you go back to the very, very first episode where we talked about the Ukraine war, I swear to God, I will bet
around February.
I will bet the house that I just bought on this. If you go back to the very first episode that we talked about it, I said I will bet anything in the world there are U.S. boots on the ground in UK right now. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. There are U.S. boots on the ground in Ukraine. What is the first line of this? Elite special forces from the UK and the US have been present in Ukraine since the beginning of hostilities with Russia in late February. A source in the French intelligence community told the Figaro reporter last week. What did I say? What did I say?
I'd say
you're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
What did I say? I told you this was happening. I told you in the beginning of the show. I didn't even look it up because I was so certain that it was happening. I was just going to wait.
You know what? A broken clock is right twice a day, Donovan.
About this, I will always be right.
Right.
About military involvement in other countries, I will always be right.
That's because it's so... Okay, not to pull away from your
say,
epic victory lap
Don't
here,
even.
But it's a very safe bet to assume that if there is some kind of conflict anywhere around the world, the U.S. has some form of asset on the ground there.
I'm just saying,
period.
I nutted up day one. That's
right.
all I'm saying. Okay?
When everybody says, nobody's there.
When they said there are no U.S. boots on the ground, I said, bullshit.
That's right.
Okay.
You got this 100%.
The claim was reported by the newspaper's senior international correspondent Jorge Malbranot on Saturday, the day when British Prime Minister Boris Johnson made his surprise visit to Kiev. The British leader was reportedly surrounded by guards from the elite SAS force, though his claim was not officially confirmed. SAS units have been present in Ukraine since the beginning of the war, as did the American Deltas. Malbrandt tweeted, citing a French intelligence source. He added that according to the source, Russia was well aware of the secret war waged against its troops by foreign commandos. Le Figaro included in its report and the updates in Ukraine. The UK and the US have been among the most active military supporters of Kiev. Johnson reportedly personally urged his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky to keep on fighting against Russia and not settle for peace until better terms are offered. And we'll talk about this. He actually said that. And we'll talk about this later when we talk about the progressive letter, because they're asking for something that Vladimir Putin offered at this time, and Boris Johnson said, don't do that.
Yep.
And now if you even talk about that, you're garbage. You're total garbage, and you're pro-Russian, and you should just go away, because no one wants to hear anything that you have to say. It's really pretty incredible.
Bad.
It's really, really pretty incredible.
You can switch the stance of the entire progressive caucus just by being like, well, you guys are pro-Russia, aren't you? Actually, never mind. We didn't even mean for that letter to go out.
We didn't even vet that. Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. 30 people read it, never been vetted.
They all signed it.
30 people signed it, never been vetted. It's incredible. Western pro-fighting consensus was apparently confirmed last week by EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell, who said on Saturday that the war will be won on the battlefield, and he too was visiting Kiev. British media earlier reported that dozens of the retired, quote-unquote, SAS had gone... Okay, so let's talk about that for a second, right? Because this is something that's become more common. I would have to guess because I don't know when they first started. I'm going to say the last 15 to 20 years, right? Where they would take people from the special forces, they would retire them, quote unquote, they would employ them as contractors, and then they would deploy them to places where the government can't go because it's technically considered warfare if you do that. This has become, extraordinarily common. There was a group.
It's the era of the proxy war. That's how you do that.
And this started with like DevGru and stuff like that in America when they were really kind of figuring out how they were going to do this. That's all these big groups, is Blackwater, all this type of shit. That's what these people are used for. That's either that or they're also, like in America, they'll employ them with the CIA. Right?
Yeah.
And so you're not in the military anymore. Now you're a CIA operative, and you can go all over the world because you're clandestine. You can do whatever. And it's not warfare. We're doing, intelligence things. Even though you're going to be murdering a bunch of people while you're out there, it's intelligence work.
Yep.
That's super common. So,
or you do like Mike Baker, and then you start making like entertainment shows.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
After you leave the CIA.
So that's why, and that's also why retired in here is in quotations, because they're retired, but they're still absolutely working for the government. They're still SAS soldiers.
They're over there fighting. They're still doing the thing.
Yes.
So, and just to preview, stick around for part 3 because that concept is going to be built on 1,000 times over in part 3.
Oh, yes. So, reported that dozens of retired SAS soldiers had gone or planned to go to Ukraine to contribute their expertise in reconnaissance and anti-tank warfare in Kiev's cause. Their services were allegedly paid for by a country in Europe still to be named via a private military company rather than by the British government, according to the UK tabloid, the Daily Mirror. So
at this point, the country in Europe yet to be named, single-handedly being solely funded by America and a little bit by the rest of the Western nations and NATO.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, we are paying for these people to be on the ground, right? The check might say Ukraine, but we're floating their entire budget.
I mean, if the company that they're employed by is in Ukraine, but I wouldn't expect that they
if it's not Ukraine, it's another NATO ally.
And that's what I would expect. Which I think would be easier to get away with. I think it would look really extra double sus. There is no deniability if you set up a defense company in Ukraine and then employ special forces from different countries. So it would have to be from a different NATO ally. So there is at least some form of deniability.
And I bet you a good place to start looking at that would be in and around the Ukrainian coup in the early 2010s when we first turned over the government in Ukraine. I bet you that would be about the time frame you'd want to start looking at, like when X military company came in from fucking Latvia or whatever it was at the time. We'd
have to look into that.
Oh, that's for investigative journalists to do that get paid lots of money.
Yeah. So this is the secret war they're talking about. This is just the special forces on the ground there. There's also a couple of different articles that we have. This is one that's just from the Sun. That's crack unit of elite ex-SAS soldiers kills up to 20 Russian generals in Ukraine as they vow to fight to the death. This is the same deal as. It's a propaganda story that may very well be correct, but it's also just meant to tell you that they're over there, they're kicking ass, they're doing all this stuff.
Let me pull this up real quick, just because I'd be real curious, because this is from the National Herald India. So, and it's essentially the same exact story that we just read from RT. So I want to just run through it real quick and see if there's any major differences, right? Because this is not Russian propaganda, as they would say. Mind you, it comes from India, so. And they're all part of that same economic bloc, but hey, whatever. Elite U.S., UK forces in Ukraine since beginning of conflict, says French Daily. Quoting a French intelligence source, a reporter from leading French daily Le Figaro has revealed that the highly trained special forces from the UK and the US have been stationed in Ukraine since Russia launched its special military operation in the region on February 14th. As the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson met Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in Kiev on Saturday, and it's like the same exact article. The same exact article. I mean, the same flow, the same everything.
Yeah.
Boris Johnson physically Kiev confirms London place as Ukraine's first ally. Elite SAS Special Forces units have been present in Ukraine since the beginning of the war, as have American Deltas. It's 100% the same exact article. I love it. So there you go. Now we've confirmed. RT is not necessarily propaganda because
Yeah.
we've got a more Western-friendly source now reporting essentially the same exact story.
Yeah.
Same flow and everything. It's kind of creepy.
And so I just sent you 2 articles.
Defense Scoop?
Yeah, Defense Scoop. Without that, that's the first one. The other one is an older one from 2017, but it's just kind of evidence to underline some of what we're talking about. So this is from Defense Scoop. This one is from October 17th, so it's just from 2 weeks ago.
Ooh.
The U.S. Army Special Force operations are assisting in the Ukrainian military in their fight against Russia to good effect, including training and advising on counter-drone efforts, according to the commander of Army Special Forces Operations Command. Okay, so the commander of Army Special Operations Command, they're telling you there are boots on the ground. We're telling you that 2 weeks ago. They're telling you. There's no longer a question about this, right?
Nope.
There's another article that we'll pull up in a minute that has to do with the 101st Airborne, I think.
Oh, I was just going to say, we got to pull up the 101st
So
next.
that was one thing that upset me because you have people in striking distance. Someone could die, right? My issue with this is you are setting someone up to die. You are asking for U.S. troops to be killed. You are asking for us to be brought into this war. That's all that this is. I don't care how you want to veil it. You want to say, oh, well, it's a quick reaction force for NATO so that we can defend our allies. Okay.
We have that.
That's fine.
Yep.
That's fine. When the Russians launch an old-ass missile over here and it doesn't go where it's supposed to and someone dies, what happens? Then what happens? American troops are dead, and we are in war now.
Yes.
That is what happens. This is what you get. This is what you're asking for. That's one thing. You're now telling me there are special operations, there are SEALs, special forces, whoever it
Deltas,
is you
baby.
sent over the Deltas that are now in country in Ukraine. Where you're also telling me they're flying drones, they're launching missiles, they're taking out civilian infrastructure in Kiev. They're all over the place. So even if they're not on the front lines, if they're back in Kiev, they're still launching
get
drones
dead.
there. When a Delta operator dies, what are you going to do? Sorry, no, you're going to fucking send the troops in. It turns to full war. You're asking for us to go into World War III. This is what you are asking for by having U.S. troops, operators, whatever you want to call them, whoever it is, having them in country. You're asking for us to go to war. You're asking for our sons and daughters to be deployed, to send to Europe for the next 20 plus years to fight a war that is bordering on a nuclear crisis right now.
So, 2 things I want to bring up. First of which is that quick response force they're talking about, right? As far as NATO is concerned, we have that. This is why we have and have always had troops in Germany, stationed in Germany, because that was the jump-off point for the quick response force that involved the defense, the Article 5 defense of NATO and its allies. After that, any other incursions throughout, when we already have that ready to go in Germany, period. In
Germany, in Poland.
Well, any reason why we would move that force closer to the line of conflict, it makes you question, why the fuck are you putting them that close? Because all you're doing is you're asking for escalation, and you're asking for something to happen so that you can have a response. Otherwise, you're already there. We've been there for decades at this point. Why are we getting closer to the line at this point? Why are we doing that? For show of force, so that we can say, don't come over. We're right here. Don't shoot anything else at it, because then we'll get you.
Yep.
We'll get you. It's a hazardous way to go about, waving your big dick around. This is a way for your big dick to get shot at. It's not a good way to be doing that. Your big dick should be stuck behind, in a safe place, so that there's no possibility
Keep
of
it in your pants.
Keep it in your pants. Just show the bulge. Just show the bulge.
Yes.
Like,
No, I think that's great.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
a great way to put that. I
Yep.
think it's
it's
funny, but it's a great way to put it. I think
Just show the bulge. You could see it in your gym shorts, but it's not out there front and center.
in your PT shorts. You see it in your PT shorts.
PT shorts. Let's keep it
Yes.
military. Let's do
Yes. So, and to me, to underline this particular part,
Yes,
right? The
yes.
most troubling part of this aspect for me. Yeah, go ahead.
I forgot my second point.
Yep.
That was
Yeah.
the first one, right? We already have troops there anyways, right? The other aspect of this is there's always the possibility too, if because we've seen this happen before too as well, where particularly in that issue when we had a couple of, I think they were Deltas, get killed in Africa relatively recently, right? And there was that, and then they just
think
go,
they were Rangers.
and then we, oh yeah, Rangers, yeah, and we just
Neither
go,
nor there.
we're not going to talk about it, we don't talk about it ever, keep it hush.
We
could
why
have,
are they in Africa?
yeah, but with the media reporting of us already being there now, I believe up to this point, you probably could have made the argument like, well, we don't have anybody there because that was their narrative, right? And so if somebody dies, they just go, I don't know what you're talking about. He's retired or whatever the fuck. I don't know what. He was a volunteer, something like that. But now it's gone. So now you've already opened up yourself. You've opened up yourself now to the possibility of that becoming public news. And then it's already out there because multiple reports now. We have U.S. boots on the ground in Ukraine, period. So now it's out there, and now if one of them dies, you can't. And we have the 101st being there.
And the only reason you send special forces instead of the retired SAS and the retired special forces, like we were talking about before, the only reason you send regular special forces is because you want people to know. It's because you're not afraid anymore of them.
This is from the DOD.
Yeah, it's from 2017, but it's just to kind of underline if they were doing this before, they're not going to stop when it intensifies. It's going to continue on. So that's really all that is. So you can just show it. But the only point really is that this was confirmed by the DOD a long time ago that they were doing this.
2017.
They're not going to stop doing it because it gets worse. They're
Across
going to
southern
keep
Ukraine,
doing it.
U.S. Special Operations Forces train with Ukrainian Special Operations and conventional U.S. and Ukrainian naval forces during Sea Breeze 2017, July 10th through the 21st. Hey, that's my birthday. So this is before the conflict.
Yes.
This is after Crimea.
Yes.
Because Crimea was 16?
2014. Yeah.
Okay.
And
so we've been in Ukraine
been there
since, at the very least, I would argue probably since the coup, but since at the very least since Crimea got taken.
We were there when it kicked off. So
we kicked it off.
Right. My only point with this, like I said, I know that it's older. My only point is that we're not going to go when it gets worse. We're going to stay there when it gets worse because it's worse
exactly.
now. That's my point with that, right?
We're not going to go because we're already there.
My biggest concern with all of this, with the training from the UK and the United States, right? The most troubling part of this to me is that all of the major wars of our lifetime and our parents' lifetime, you can even go to our parents, have started in this exact same way, right? We've talked just a million times over. Vietnam started in the 50s with the OSS training the Viet Minh to try and fight the Southern Koreans, right? That's how that started, okay? Afghanistan started in the 90s by training the Mujahideen to fight the Russians, okay? That's how that started. We ended up in those countries 20, 25 years later fighting the same people that we armed and trained because they were doing shit that we didn't like because we weren't paying attention to who we were working with, right? All these people now that are trying to talk to you, they're trying to even question for a moment, aren't there state-sanctioned Nazis in this military? You say, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah,
don't you talk about that. You are garbage. You don't support Ukraine. Listen, I'm not saying I don't support Ukraine. I'm asking you, are there Nazis in the military? Don't worry about it. I'm pro-Ukraine. You're a piece of garbage, right? Don't even ask about it. Don't question whether or not there are actual literal Nazis in their military, because that doesn't matter. If you don't support this, you support a fascist, right? That's crazy. That's a crazy idea.
How's that?
Crazy belief to have.
So if I don't support the Nazis,
You're a fascist. You're a piece of garbage, right?
But aren't the Nazis fascists?
Right. So not only do I fear that this will turn out the exact same way, we are wholly unable to deny our involvement in this conflict because we are training the Ukrainians to use howitzer missiles, and that is no different than providing the Saudis with targeting information that they can use in Yemen. This is all the exact same thing, right? It's the exact same thing. None of this is any different, and we can't deny our involvement here the same way we can't deny our involvement in Yemen. You can say, oh, we're just standing in the room. It doesn't matter. You helped kill those people. You did this. You helped get us here.
Yeah. Now, I have a question just kind of parallel to this in a way, right? When you think about our involvement in Africa, that kind of ended more or less, at least as far as the public eye is concerned, with Mogadishu and Black Hawk Down.
Yes.
Why are we not there anymore like we are everywhere else in the world at this point? Obviously, we're there because we had those servicemen killed.
Yeah.
Whatever branch they were at that point, whoever these special forces level people were. But Why do we not have a bigger footprint there? Is it just media attention? Because it's a quieter place in the world, so there's no Putin to point out. There's no Iran to point at. There's, is that what that is?
To a certain extent, right? My answer would be that the politics there are even less stable than in the Middle East.
Oh, word.
In Afghanistan, there was a party that we could push out the Ba'ath Party and support who we wanted and move from there, right? We could do that in Afghanistan. In Mogadishu, in fucking anywhere in Africa,
Yeah.
there is not a good party that you can bolster that will still be there in 20 years.
Yeah, it's all just warlords and shit
Doesn't
at this
exist.
point. Yeah.
And that's what we were doing in Mogadishu, is dealing
Yeah.
with fucking warlords. That's what we were dealing with, is warlords and different people fighting literally in the streets
Yeah.
and killing civilians. That's why we were there,
Yeah.
right?
Great fucking movie, by the way.
There isn't any one party or government to try and support there, not only that you can support on a even minimal moral level,
Yeah.
but that you can expect to still be there in 20 years. It's going to be a complete waste of money and time to try and invest in somewhere, because if you do, all you're doing is creating a puppet state.
So is that
the only way for that to work in a country of that stature is for you to be bolstering that person the entire way, and then it's just a puppet government that the people aren't going to support anyway. We know that doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, because we've already done the deed in South America and Central America.
We tried that.
We did that,
Yeah.
right? And so there's some form of democratic governments that are in place now throughout the South and Central America.
Yes.
So we ain't there no more, because we did the deed. We're there.
Now we just pick people that we support, and we hope that they win.
Yeah. And so when it comes to Africa, that's solely essentially what it would be. Is we tried. This is the old spreading democracy around the world. That it ain't going to work
Doesn't
there.
work there.
It works better in the Middle East than it would even throughout Africa
No,
at this
it's
point.
like in.
That's why we're not there.
Where is
necessarily.
it that they're not allowing the food aid into? Where is that? That's
I actually just read a story
is that
about
in
this
Haiti?
the other day.
Is that where it's at?
Oh yeah, Haiti.
Yeah.
Well, it's run by gangs now.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So it's the same deal.
Well,
It's-
it's-
you can
okay.
only do.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about
Well,
it?
at Haiti at this point, it's only literally a matter of time before we're involved, because literally the narrative around Haiti right now is because the government is essentially in default. We remember, I think we talked about it on the show at that point, the president getting assassinated in his own house, right?
And everyone, his guards were like, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, of course.
It was weird.
I don't
right?
know.
Yeah. I mean, he's like, turn
They
around,
didn't
he's
have a
fucking
hand in
dead.
that.
I have no idea.
But I think the what's happening there now is that essentially the gangs are running most of the country, a number, like a confederation of certain gangs, and there's one that's in charge more than anybody else. But the U.S. doesn't want to get involved, and they're insinuating that somebody get involved, including the UN is saying that somebody
Right.
needs to get involved, and right now nobody's willing to.
Blue helmets
So
are
I
not
think
going to
it's
be the answer.
No, blue helmets are not. They never are the answer. Blue helmets are never the answer anywhere in the world.
Haiti.
Let's put it that
The
way.
Haitian gangs don't
They
wanna
do
see
not
other
like blue
Haitians-
helmets.
The Haitian gangs don't want to see other Haitians in blue helmets. That's
Yes.
just going to piss them off. It's
Exactly.
just going to make them upset that that's
It's-
what they've chosen to do.
That's my question now. It's like, how long is it going to be? Well, if nobody's going to do it, America will do it, even though we don't want to. We don't want to. And then Haiti's also like, well, we don't want anybody here. Just
Right,
leave us the fuck
right.
alone.
That's
We'll
why-
figure it out.
And that's okay. So here's halfway conspiracy time, because this is really how the world works. That's why the stories are coming out now about the denial of the food resources, is because now it's a humanitarian crisis.
Yes.
I'm sure there's going to now be more stories about
Cholera outbreak.
women are being raped now. It's
Oh, yeah.
a horrific sexual crisis that's even worse than before. They're being raped, and their children are being raped, and double rape, and whatever. There's gonna be humanitarian crisis. Someone has to intervene now, because this is
There's
now
gonna be a line
now-
somewhere.
Now it's stepping on people's civil rights. It's not just food. It's they can't even live happy now. I'm telling you, this.
If I can't have civil rights, you
you
can't
live
have
in
them
America,
either.
this isn't about you. This
Fuck.
is about Haiti.
Damn it.
You're not Haitian. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's how it's going to be. There's going to be shit like that until it goes so far. Maybe some type of mass murder or something.
Yeah.
There's going to be maybe like a rebellion, or that tries to cook up, and the Haitian gangs are going to round them all up, kill them, and put them into like a mass grave somewhere. There's going to be a picture that comes out of the mass grave. America's going to be like, that's it. We can't fucking watch this anymore. It's gone too far. This is, Nazi-esque. We just can't be having this shit anymore. There's going to be a team of deltas that go in there, take out a bunch of dudes with silencers, and they're like, hey, I don't know.
I don't know.
We woke up and they were dead. And I don't know.
I woke up and they were dead. I don't
were
know.
dead.
I will say, the Haitian gang member. I don't know if you saw this picture. It's pretty widespread out there. You don't live
People
in
with
the,
shirts on their heads.
no, you don't live in the Twitterverse like I do. But there was this picture of one of the Haitian gang members standing on top of a pile of food that was just out like in the public square,
There's, like,
right?
boxes of
And he's
food.
standing on there with his AK and shit, and all these gang members.
Short AK.
They wear these super dope like soccer scarves. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
I want me one of them soccer scarves. They look really. The Haitian colors are really cool. They're like it's
Yeah.
this cool like kind of gold, blue, and red situation going on. But if anything, I will just say the lack of concern about a conflict at which the United States would have definitely previously been involved. 100%. We would have been there like yesterday if this was 10 years ago. We would have been down in Haiti, right? I think that speaks to like the new game of geopolitical brinksmanship that we are playing here. We're playing a different level game at this point because we're dealing with superpowers at this point, and this is a new, if I could say, this is a fight for the survival of the world liberal economic order that was established.
Yeah.
Post World War II.
Yeah.
That was. I mean, you laugh, but that's a real deal. It was established at that point. This was going to be the way it was, and for a very long time, the West had all the power. Vladimir Putin just bragged the other day about the West not having the power anymore. The world liberal economic order has essentially fallen apart. Will continue until all the nation, the single hegemonic power of the world is no longer, and
Right.
and the rest of the world knows that.
Which is what
We're-
Putin was talking about.
Which is what he was talking about, and we're that close to that happening right now, in just a matter of time. In which case, Haiti's going to be left. Nobody's going to talk about Haiti for a very long time because at this point we're playing a different game than we used to.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that. Nobody in the West is concerned about that. Period.
We can't.
If-
You can't afford to do that
No.
type of shit anymore. You can't be spread
No.
that thin.
I will say this though, if China wanted to kind of put another like stake in the ground somewhere, there's your shot right
They're
there.
scooping up and screwing over all those African countries. They're going in there.
Well,
they're-
Haiti's a little different because it's an island nation though, so
Yeah.
it's a little different, right? Because is Haiti? No, what's the Dominican Republic? Is that the same island as Haiti?
Oh,
the DR
that's
in
not
Haiti?
Gonna be,
I
yeah,
gotta
that's
pull it
not
up.
going to be me.
That's not gonna be.
No. I also know that.
I saw this thing the other day
yeah.
on Twitter. It was like the Americans are like terrible at geography.
Yeah.
And the clickbait thumbnail to click on was like, 90% of Americans can't name this nation. And it was like this weird kind of altered version of the European continent, right? That you're not used to
Okay.
seeing. And it was like France is here, Spain is here. And it was like, they can't name this country. And I'm like, bitch, that's an ocean. I know there's not a country there. Don't talk to me about this shit.
That's really funny.
I'm getting relatively decent at the geography of Eastern Europe at this
Yeah.
point. I don't want to talk. Don't talk to me about geography. But now I feel bad because I don't know where Haiti's at.
Yeah. No, I got the United States squared away pretty well. The whole rest of the world, It's
Yeah,
way
there
too
it is.
much.
It is on the same
It's
island.
just the other half of
It's of the DR. Yeah.
that's fucking weird.
So Port-au-Prince is over there. Yeah, it's like East Coast, West Coast thing. But yeah,
weird.
So you got the DR on this side, you got Haiti on this side, and then Cuba right over yonder. Puerto Rico, San Juan is
That
over
would
there.
explain why Dominicans are so dark.
And there's
right?
Jamaican. I'm not.
I'm not.
You
okay,
do you,
that's
bro.
Not, that's
I don't
like
know.
a genuine
I don't know what you're talking
question.
about
I'm
because they're on
saying-
the west coast of it.
No, because they're on the same fucking island as Haitian people. Haitian people are like black.
Oh,
Dominican
I'm
people
because
are about-
Dominican people are darker.
Yes,
yes,
that's what I'm
yes,
saying.
Yes, yes,
I never I don't know.
I
That's
was like-
literally the first time I've ever seen that and known that. So I didn't. If you would have asked me where is the Dominican Republic, I would have said I don't fucking know.
It's right next to Haiti.
Right. So I
And
would
the
have
only
never
reason
known
I
that.
really know that though is because I remember being, I believe, I don't want to don't fact check me on this, but I believe I was in the Coast Guard at the time of like the major earthquake, and there's a bunch of people trying to be like, I want to go to Haiti, I want to go help, I want to go do this
Yeah.
thing. I was one of those people. I was like, I want to, and of course,
Whoa.
I'm the only cook on my entire ship, so they're like, shut up, put your hand down, you can't go nowhere, you need to feed us.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good sign because then they didn't want to kick me off the boat at that
Yeah.
point. So that's good. But yeah. Anyways, Haiti's a whole deal. Yeah, if they China won't fuck around then because the
getting a little
DR is right
close.
there.
Yeah.
If they were like Jamaica on their own deal, if they were just a single island nation
Right.
all on their own,
Which is what I thought.
that'd be
up until
prime
this
time,
point, Haiti
dude. That
was.
would be prime time because they're already super involved in like Central America and parts of South America.
And Africa.
That'd be prime time for them. But because the DR is right there and we're pretty all right with the DR. That's too close to fuck around with for China. Mind you, they have secret police stations in New York City, but
Yeah,
we don't care. World War III. It's coming, baby. China is already putting ungodly amounts of money all over Africa, the
Right.
Congo, more than
That's
any.
what I was
yeah.
talking about. Yeah,
Amen.
they call it the Belt and Road Initiative, right? Spreading that
Dude,
all over Africa.
Don't fucking talk to
Yeah,
me
Belt and
about
Road.
Belt and Road, all
Belt
right?
and
I've
Road's
been on
bad
Belt
news.
and Road
Oh.
for years at this point,
Before
okay?
we were even doing the show, you were talking about Belt
Amen.
and Road. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
I've
Belt
been
and Road
all
is
about
bad.
this.
And it's only now that people, they were kind of talking about it. They're like, it's weird that like China's, investing all this money here. And now they're like, wait. They were screwing over all these African countries this whole time. Didn't you guys know this? Yeah. All this
Surprise.
infrastructure that's like 3 years old is
Yes.
crumbling in Africa the same way it does in China. Like, wait, what's
What?
happening? I don't understand. Why is all this? Like, oh, we boned you. We gave you a great loan with an incredibly high interest rate that you didn't know about at the time.
Oh,
And
but now you
here
have
we
to
are.
default on that mineral mine? Oh, damn. I guess we have to take ownership of it. Fucking nationalize it, bro. Kyle Kalinske would love that aspect.
Bad news.
He's a nationalize it, bro.
And he is.
That's my new
I like it.
term, by the
Yeah.
way. I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but like that's my new term. All these people, they're nationalize it bros. That's what they are. They want it. Nationalize it, bros.
Nationalize it.
Use it, Bilbo. Every time you hear some crazy progressive that wants the state to run an industry, they're just a nationalist, bro. That's what they are.
Yeah.
They're done.
Yeah. So it's bad news.
It is bad
And I
news.
think that kind of, if I was thinking about,
Pontificate for a minute?
yes, yeah, absolutely. I was thinking about like what would be the theme for the show today, and I think that I decided the overall theme, not only World War III, globalism is bad. Globalism is really bad, and this is globalism is really bad. It's a huge aspect of how we got here. Is the unwillingness to focus, not even unwillingness, refusal to focus on the United States. And I think it's a great point that you brought up, Bilbo. You were saying we need to go back to America before World War I, before when Wilson made us become the police of the world. 100%. And we talked about this. I think when I first started thinking about globalism more was when we had the Gaeta brothers on, and Ivan was on here and he was talking to us about food. If you haven't watched this, I don't know if you were here for that episode. If you haven't watched it, it's a great episode of the Gaeta brothers. Ivan works for a company that deals with the DNA of food, and he was talking to us about food, and I was like, Ivan, why can't we just eat our own produce? And he said, because of NAFTA. It's because of NAFTA and globalism and all this type of stuff. And I was like, wait, what are you talking about? So I started to look more into that type of stuff. Bad news all over the place. The globalist
Agenda.
view on all of these things, globalist agenda, if that's what you want to call it.
That's the conspiratorial term. You can't say that.
Is
because
at the
red
core
flags.
of a lot of this type of stuff.
Yes.
And I think it's even, I feel confident now it's run itself through the military industrial complex of the United States, that we are now exporting not only our equipment and have the know-how to use it, but the individuals themselves, when they are no longer of active use to us, when they can't fight for us, and
Yes.
allowing them to sell not necessarily our secrets, but the background information and the ideology behind it that has made the American military what it is up until this point.
So
and I
here's-
think that will kind of underline for us how we have got to this point of the degradation of the United States military. That it is just we're lowering the physical standards. We aren't okay with the difficult conditions that have created the fighting force that we've needed to get us here. We are giving away the secrets and the people, the know-how that we needed to get here. So
You're pulling away from the one point I wanted to make real quick.
love
So
it.
before we carry on to the full degradation of the military,
Yeah.
or is that going to be more of a part 3?
that's part 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
That's all we have is
as
like
far
the
as
progressive
globalism-
letter for this, and then we can go into part 3.
yes,
So.
and so I want to make an argument that like there are pluses to globalism. There are
State your case, Satan.
the the way in which the corrupt, the people that have gotten us to our version of globalism, bad, obviously, through like stupid things like NAFTA and all this stuff. If you're gonna do what equates to equal outcome version of globalism, that's bad. Where you got to bring down the United States and make sure that our companies can't rise and do business in certain things because other countries need to be able to do that business instead through NAFTA, shit like that, right? Bad version of globalism. Plus side of globalism, when you have a more, dare I say, united global governance system in which free trade is allowed to prosper, you take advantage of everybody else's talents, everybody else's resources, and that will overall bring up the standard of living and the amount of technology and all this stuff on a global scale, because people in China do better manufacturing than we do in America. We have generationally lost that experience, and it will take generations to get it back. Chip manufacturing. For some reason, it was decided the only people that really get to actually do that, we have the intellectual property side of it over here, we have the technology side of it over here, but we can't implement it like they can in Taiwan. For some reason, Taiwan's the only place in the world can do that at that level.
Do you know why?
Why?
It's because we're white and we have big fat fingers.
I mean, I'm a big bird. I'm a giant man. I have to have the bigger phone because I cannot type. I see these people with the small iPhones. I can't do that. Fat fingers.
Because we all have big fat fingers, so we can't do that. You need slender Asian fingers to assemble something tiny like a microchip. Even though a computer does it. I don't listen. Listen. Okay.
Usually I'm the one that's borderline offensive, all right? What the hell's going on here? So, like I said, it's one of those it's like communism's good on paper and shit like that. Globalism can be a good thing, and it's actually what has brought us the ability to have a 65-inch screen TV that you can go pick up at Walmart for less than $5,000 fucking dollars.
I have a
the only
Samsung
reason
TV.
it exists because of globalism. Pluses and minuses. It can do good things, but the way it is implemented and carried out, that affects everybody. And the only good way to do that is through like free markets and free trade.
Yes.
Period.
Forcing
you
people
cannot
to sell and buy things from certain places is not the, right
the way to
go.
do it. That is a centralized version of that. That's the communist, that's the fucking Marxist version of that giant globalist control. Globalism,
which is where we're at now.
Globalism is the only reason you and I can do this right now, period.
Certainly.
Period. Now.
We had a lot of Chinese shit in this studio.
I mean,
we're getting there. We're getting there.
Try to find an American company that makes this shit. Oh, wait. They don't exist.
We don't
Sorry.
know how. Big fat fingers. I told you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I just want to say.
Can't even press the back on a camera.
Globalism itself and globalists and all this shit. You got to remember, that is just a title. That's a moniker. That is something that, like, Alex Jones coined as a thing for something else. For the entity that makes up ESG, that brought you DEI, that brought you the World Economic Forum.
Right.
That is a different thing.
So I should say modern globalist ideology.
No, you could say globalism because at this point we're talking about the same thing. But the actual definition, it doesn't matter because definitions don't matter anymore. But the concept of a world economy like that is only good because it gives you access to get anything you might want from anywhere in the globe at any time. And if you're a manufacturer, that's what you want. Right. Because that means that you could build whatever the fuck you want because you have access to all the mines in China and in Africa and all the I mean, let's put it this way. If you want like hardcore fucking computational power from the mind, like people that can code to no end, you go to India. That's where you get those people. There's if you want great doctors and shit like that, there's a reason why most of the doctors we have in the United States are imported from other parts of the country.
Right.
Like different
parts of
Asia.
We
can't do all the things by ourselves. When we could probably. We'd be less good at it, but we'd be way more self-sufficient at it.
There's a ton of stuff that we could do, and that's why I started by talking about the conversation with Ivan because food production is one of those things. Mm-hmm. Like there's a ton of things that we could be fully self-sustaining on that we could have our fill here and then export the excess. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All the apples and all the potatoes, all the type of stuff that we grow here that we export to other countries that we could instead sell here first and then to other countries. That type of shit, like that's That's a problem. That's not the right way to go about things. Forcing us to import fruit and produce from other countries and export the same stuff that we grow here to a different country makes no sense at all, because it costs Americans buyers more money.
Yeah.
Regular people cost them more money. It doesn't make any sense, you know?
Yeah,
So
the way we
that's
have
why I started
implemented
there,
it
because,
is not good.
Because that was the first place I thought of it, because that was the first time that I really was like, this doesn't make any sense to me, that you're telling me that we could feed our own populace over and over and over again, but there's still people are starving because we don't allow us to do that. You know, it doesn't make any sense. And
well, on top of that too, like, not only do you have the treaties and shit like that to deal with now, but you also have like the fucking ESG type things that you have to deal with at this point now, because the ESG is adopted on a Western globalist stage at this point. So any multinational corporation is going to hold the military industrial complex, which they are, held to ESG standards. So what's worse than like a relatively modernized globalist military industrial complex? One that also implements ESG.
woke Halliburton.
Woke Halliburton. What's worse than Halliburton? Woke ass Halliburton. But we're there. That's what we're doing now. Also, why we don't have any fucking weapons anymore. Because nobody was like, yeah, we're going to stockpile more because their ESG score would have gone down. We're just going to say, in the last 20 years, we've been dropping X amount of Hellfire missiles over, per week. So we only need to make this amount. Because if we make more than that, our ESG score is going to be affected. So we're only just going to make what we need to. It's the on-demand economy version of the military-industrial complex. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Zeke in the house.
Hey,
what's up, buddy?
Hey, Zeke. We're just talking about you guys. That's hilarious. We're on part 2 right now. Yeah. We're just getting ready to finish up part 2, and then we'll get into part 3, which is good because you're here. Good. Yeah.
This is
we'll
real
be
good.
here for the military conversation. So
Yes. You want to talk about how the progressives are a bunch of shills that just instantly retreated from their ethics?
Yes, that is the last.
Let me pull up the letter here.
I was just trying to find something because the last time I was watching, I think it was Tuesdays with Stories. They were talking about. I
really need to watch this show.
I think that's what it was. I had Jordan watch it the other day, and I tried to put it on last night. And she said,
Don't
I
that.
don't like this show. I said, I wasn't sure that you would. So, I don't like it. So we didn't watch it last night.
I don't know if I could take that much Joe List in my life, to be perfectly honest.
It's a very specific. I told you I don't understand it myself.
Well,
it's
you're a
just
weird
one
dude,
of those
so.
things. Yeah.
Did you see that Trigonometry had Mark Norman on?
I did.
I
have
haven't
not
watched it yet.
Yeah, but
I bet that's fucking good.
Yeah. I saw a clip from it, and he was talking about he didn't understand why things are taken so seriously. He was like, "I tell dick jokes." I don't think that should no one should be looking to me for advice. I tell dick jokes, and I like it that way.
I've heard that so much lately.
Yeah,
fucking
I think that's really
Dave Smith did this whole thing the other day. He was like talking about running into Dave Attell, and he hadn't seen Dave Attell in a long time, and he's like an OG Godfather in comedy and all this stuff. And he was at Skankfest, and he ran into him, and he's like, "Man, I just look up to you so much. I watched your set tonight. You just killed it, man. You're doing." He's like, and then David tells like, I just did dick jokes all night, man. Whatever. And I walked away. He was like, my heart was crushed.
I think it was that show they were talking about. No, it was your mom. It was your mom's house. They were talking about a company that makes T-shirts of companies without logos in the style of companies with logos. And so the example that they gave was a Halliburton T-shirt, but in like a Metallica logo and like that type of stuff. So I was looking for that T-shirt, and there was another one that they had in like it was.
Your mom's house is on point.
Yeah, it was like Pfizer or Moderna in like a Coca-Cola, type. So it was like that type of shit. So
bro,
I would love to get a T-shirt like that.
Zeke, you guys going to be bringing up how much military having budget, almost $2 trillion. Wasn't going to, but send me a link. We might pull it up.
Yeah, we talk about
it'll fit in.
We talk about the defense budget on a regular basis.
Yeah.
We did not have that one in particular. The overall theme we're talking about, globalism is bad, is what we were talking about, and just the kind of the general perception of it. In part 2, Zeke, we talked about. It's worth going back, the different special forces aspects in Ukraine and the different military assets that are involved in Ukraine right now. And in part 3, we're going to be talking about the degradation of the United States military. And so maybe that's a good thing to start with. Is also, this is how much money they spend every year.
To train people that are going to go do other shit.
Yeah, so we will talk about that. The last 2 things we have in part 2 is this letter here, and then Colin is going to run us through the amount of money that we have spent thus far, if you have it, in Ukraine. So,
and it's the same updated paperwork that I got from the DOD from last
perfect.
time. So it's good.
Perfect. So this letter that Colin has here was released on Monday.
And we're not going to read it because it's a bunch of blowhard bullshit.
We will tell you what it is. And it is a letter from the Progressive Caucus of the House.
Signed by Pamela Jayapal of our great city of Seattle over yonder. That's where she is from. It's her district that she represents. But she's like because I think technically Nancy Pelosi is the head of the Progressive Caucus because she's the head of the Democrats. But I think she's a progressive member of the caucus.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I feel like she is, but because she's the leader of all the things, like she steps out away from that. But I don't know. I can look it up. But either way, Pamela Jayapal is the head honcho of the Progressive Caucus at this point.
And the smaller caucus inside of it of the squad, right? Of like AOC, Ilhan Omar.
Which is funny because, like, how do you usurp AOC's, like, chair as the head of the squad?
I think just because she's older, you know?
Yeah. She comes, she's like, bitch, I'm from Seattle, all right? I'm
older.
super woke, okay?
Right.
You don't even understand. You
don't
come
know
from
what
New York
woke
City.
is.
You guys have Wall Street. We're just Seattle, so bitch, get out of my
We
way.
have fucking Chaz Chop, bitch. You don't know anything about fucking. You don't know anything about wokeness.
Our mayor is getting hemmed up because of all the protection she gave
She's
us.
so
all right?
woke, okay?
But yeah, we got members on here like Pamela Jayapal, Corey Bush, all the members of the squad, Ro Khanna.
And Ro Khanna, to his credit, after they withdrew this, and we'll get into this, Ro Khanna was like, "Yo, y'all are pussy." He's like, this was real, and you should have sent it." And he blew up her spot. He's like, "No, this was real, and I'm in for it. It was vetted because I signed that shit. It's real."
He's on it.
Yeah.
Ilhan Omar. I know AOC's on there.
She is. All signed, different colored pens.
Rashida Tlaib.
So they all signed this, right? There's 30 members of Congress that signed this. Okay, so
Jamie
letter,
Raskin.
There you go. This letter was released on Monday, supposedly sent to the president, and it is. They're all e-signatures and stuff.
Of course, they're all e-signatures,
but
they're in the standard black or blue.
Yeah, it is a letter telling the president that while we support Ukraine, we think that we should be pushing toward a diplomatic resolution to what is going on in Ukraine.
Yes,
right. So this letter comes out. A lot of people are very upset about it. How could you? Simple Google searches should pop up that the military has been upwards of 1.7
pull that shit up,
trillion.
Jamie.
I suspect it's actually more because of our nuclear doesn't technically fall under DOD. I know, isn't that wild? The way that they just tuck away little,
It's wild.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Don't worry about the submarines. Don't worry about all that stuff. That's something else. It's different. It's a different deal. Don't worry about that. Yeah. So this letter. What it says, like I said, is we believe we should be pushing towards a diplomatic resolution to what is happening in Ukraine. Some people were very, very upset. They immediately lashed out on all the people who signed this letter, talking about how they are pro-Russian and they don't support the Ukrainians, and it's crazy to think that we should be providing any concessions at all to Russia, and really all that we need is Russia to just fully withdraw from Ukraine, and that's the only condition in which we should be looking to seek any type of end or resolution to this. It's really a pretty horrific standpoint of which these attacks came from. The next day, 24 hours later, Pramila Jayapal comes out. She sends out another letter that says, actually, this first letter from yesterday is from several months ago, and it was released without vetting by one of my staff, right? So what that means, without vetting, means that a higher member of staff didn't see it, right? What that means is that Pramila Jayapal is saying a member of her staff forged the signature of 30 members of Congress, at least one of which has said that he signed it himself, and then released this letter, right? Right off the bat, because of what Ro Khanna said, we can verify that is not correct.
Well,
because he
caveat. Let me put it this way: it would not be atypical for them to come up with a letter of some kind, a memo, have everybody sign it, and be like, "Okay, the deal is we're not going to release this yet. We're going to release this at a time in which the caucus deems it necessary. But let's get we're all here right now. Let's get everybody's signature, read it, sign it. We're just going to keep it in the back
That just
pocket. And
means
when the time is
untimely.
right, we will drop it.
That just
But
means
that-
untimely, not
But it's
unvetted.
it's still a load of horseshit. Yes, it is not. It has not been unvetted. Everybody that signed this thing definitely read it. They definitely, well,
Or
whether
at
or not they
least
read it,
knew what was in
they
it.
approved of it.
Yeah.
Because they definitely put their fucking signatures on there. Nobody forged that shit. 100%. Every one of these motherfuckers that is in the Progressive Caucus that signed it, 100% signed it. Period. Full stop.
And Ro
whether
Khanna
they
came out and said it.
agreed with the release date is the only thing I question. What is happening here is Rashida Tlaib is just trying to do what,
Jayapal.
Pamela Jayapal, Rashida
They're
Tlaib.
all in the same.
They're all the same. But Pamela Jayapal, what is happening here? She's trying to run cover, doing what the Democrats generally do, and
Yes.
trying to just make up some bullshit story about how it wasn't supposed to go out or whatever. When at the end of the day, they should have just stood by it and just been like, "Yeah, our bad. We're a bunch of pieces of shit. Sorry, we're not with the Democratic narrative. My bad. We'll withdraw our letter."
Right.
But
And it would put them in better standing with their constituents if they did too.
Yes.
Because we played the video of AOC last week. You
We
told me
did.
Ilhan Omar has her own.
I got
deal.
an Ilhan Omar
And
one.
I didn't watch her video because I was
pull
up
it
with
up
kids
real
and
quick.
everyone. But I quote tweeted it earlier
because you're a
that-
dad.
yeah, because I was dadding it up. But yeah, she has her own video. Yeah, we
But
played
with the juice, I can't wait for
OJ is
part 4, dude. The
wild,
juice.
dude.
He's trying to get in there.
Yeah, we played the video last
There it is.
episode of AOC and her getting screamed at by her
Mm-hmm.
constituents for voting for the funding, for not even
Yes.
being willing to say like, "Hey, this isn't a good idea."
Yeah.
For just going and voting for the funding to go to Ukraine.
Yeah.
It's hilarious to watch it eat itself. It's hilarious.
And so here we have Ilhan Omar.
Yeah, let's see it.
You are supposed to be a progressive Democrat, anti-war. Anti-war. 80 billion to Ukraine is not anti-war.
We'll go over the numbers in a minute.
Ukraine defend themselves.
Ukraine is killing its own citizens
Helping people
in the
survive
Donbass.
war. We
Boom.
are helping little children like me that have been helped.
In Ilhan Omar's defense, I can't believe I'm saying that. She at least is acknowledging this guy and trying to
Yes.
feed him lines versus AOC just stood up there and was like,
Just
this
watched.
motherfucker, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just stupid.
So
Listen, Linda.
unless you have not been paying attention to what is happening, there are millions of Ukrainians that have been displaced. There are piles of bodies that are being found in mass graves. There are little children
Oh shit.
whose lives are being lost.
By Zelensky. Yeah, by Zelensky in the Donbass.
But unless you are someone like me that has been that child,
Oh, get out of here.
She's
you're not
getting
going
there.
to tell me what my votes mean and how I get to vote in supporting people who
There we go. He's out. He lost that one.
Because she was able to insert her
Because she is a way better politician than
Yeah.
AOC is. That's what that was. But even she's getting pushback from her own people.
That was very like Harris-esque, in much more natural of like, and that little girl was me. That was like just inserting that, you can't fucking tell me because that was me. Like I did that, That's she's not wrong, but she's wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
There's so many layers here.
you're
guys.
not wrong, but also this dude is not wrong either. Like he's
Imagine that. The complexity of dealing with a semi-proxy war in Eastern Europe with a government that has only been recently installed and used to be the number one most corrupt government on the entire planet.
Right.
Imagine the complexity and the layers of trying to sort that shit out.
Yeah, I think the nuclear take from a constituent perspective is a better take of like
Yeah.
we're gonna die. You
Yes.
you have a
The
fallout
AOC
shelter.
version one.
You have a fallout shelter to go to if the bombs drop, and we will die. And you don't care about that. That's a better. What does she have to say about that? There's nothing to be said about that because that's the reality of that.
Yeah, he was ill prepared. That guy.
Yes,
He got
he's upset,
steamrolled.
which he has every right to be. He's upset,
And
which is fine.
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Different makeup in Minnesota than you are there in New York City.
But you got to come correct. You know what I'm
You
saying?
do, because otherwise Ilhan
She
Omar are
smoked
gonna
you.
fucking
Yeah,
smoke
she
you.
smoked you. You didn't.
And
You were
the
not
room
prepared.
turned on you, bro.
Yeah, they were with you, and then you lost it.
Yep.
That was close. But like I said, she's wrong. She is wrong, but
Yes.
also
Okay.
you
and
weren't
so
ready for the smoke.
We're getting close to the end here, right?
Yes.
But we did not do the commercial for the 101st Airborne.
Right, yeah. This is what I referenced this earlier, and this is we now have a whole what is it? It's a battalion that's over there that
The 104th Airborne. Yeah, they'll talk about it in the commercial,
Yeah,
but
so
we'll get past
we
the,
have a whole portion,
precious
right?
kitty little commercial
we
before
got a
we
whole
do this.
group that's over there that are now on the Romanian border of Ukraine that are training with Romanians, training with Ukrainians, that are doing all this stuff, that are saying that they're ready to respond in case NATO needs their assistance.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And unlike Breaking Points, we're not going to speed up the actual clip.
No.
We'll just let it ride so that you don't hear everybody's voices as if they're fucking chipmunks.
It'll be great.
Oh, bitch, is this not the fucking... I don't think this is
We
the
have
right
people
one.
in the government that do not care about human life. You are 1,000% correct, Bilbo.
Yeah. No, I'd say most of them
People don't care about you.
They care about their human life.
Yeah.
Let's just see what happens here.
On CBS Mornings, we are getting a look at the U.S. forces closest to the fighting in Ukraine, supporting NATO allies and sending a very clear message
I don't
to
wanna be
Russia.
fighting in that field,
Charlie
bro.
Daggett is in Romania
There's no
for us this
covering
morning.
big
Charlie,
rolling
good
field
morning.
Like that.
Good morning, Tony. Romania is now
What's up,
home
Tony?
to the 101st Airborne Division. It's the first time it's been headquartered here in Europe in nearly 80
101st
years.
Airborne Division.
This is some of the equipment they brought from home. A 777 howitzer ready to roll at any minute.
Any minute. There we go.
They're specifically trained to deploy on any battlefield in the world within hours.
Scream Eagles, baby.
Ready
First
to
battle.
fight. The reason one of America's most elite air assault divisions has been sent right here, right now.
The only thing they're missing here about
We
you
join
on the
Deputy
range
Commander
is you
Brigadier
shit.
General John Lubis and Colonel Edwin Mathaidis, commander of the 2nd Brigade combat team, on board a Black Hawk helicopter for an hour's chopper ride to the very edge of NATO territory, around 3 miles from the border with Ukraine.
3 miles.
From the start of the war, Russia advanced from Crimea along the Black Sea to Kherson, aiming to capture port cities like Mykolaiv and Odessa to landlock Ukraine. We're right about here.
We're ready to defend every inch of NATO soil. Why is it necessary to have the 101st here? We bring a unique capability. We're a light infantry force, but again, we bring that mobility through our aircraft and our air assaults.
We skirt along the Black Sea coast as we head further north.
This
We're
is
roughly
propaganda,
20
Bilbo. You're
miles
correct.
away from Snake Island, this contentious island that's been fought over between the Ukrainians and the Russians.
Of course, they're on Snake
currently
Island.
under Ukrainian control.
At a forward operating site, we watched as U.S.
Romanian
soldiers and
troops.
Romanian troops pounded targets in a joint ground and air
I
assault.
like the Romanian flag.
The tank rounds and artillery fire are real. So is the enemy, meant to recreate the fight against Russian forces in Ukraine. A message to Russia and NATO allies alike: we're here.
The real meaning for me to have the American troops here is like if you were to have allies in Normandy before any enemy was there.
In all,
What was
roughly
that guy's title?
4,700 soldiers of the
Because he
101st
sounded like he
Screaming
was American.
Eagles from
The enemy was there.
a message to Russia and NATO allies alike: we're here.
The real meaning for me
comes up
to
for
have
just
the
a
American
second.
troops
It's
here
very
is
quick.
like if you were to have allies in
Pause it.
Major General. He's the chief of Romanian Land Force Staff. Oh yeah,
He
see there's
serves
the
in
Romanian
the
flag.
Romanian military.
That's an interesting accent for a Romanian. I mean, I'm not that up to date on my.
Yeah, let's hear it again.
Normandy before any enemy was there. To have the American troops here is like if you were to have allies in Normandy before any enemy was there.
What the fuck?
Yeah, okay, so that guy's an American, right? Serving as what the major general or whatever he said of the Romanian military of this
For
particular.
name? We're
me
gonna
to
Google
have
him
the
real quick.
American
We're gonna
troops
give him-
here is
we're gonna give him a
like
little goog there.
if you were to
This will bring us
have
into part 3.
allies.
Major General, okay,
Okay, let me just go wide shot real quick. I can pull this up.
Julian Bendral. I have no idea what his name is.
Damn Windows. Come on, shorten up here so I can read it. Major General. That's an
Iulian. Verdilla.
Let's do a little checking here. What else we got? What do we got? Let's
He sounds like an American.
He
Maybe
does.
I'm wrong. He sounds like an American to me.
wonder what we can. Oh, that's 2026, 2022. Nothing. Welcome to Fort Campbell. He might just be like Western trained.
Really westernized.
Yeah.
Because he sounds like a
Fort
fucking
Campbell.
American.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I didn't pick up any hint of accent in that at all. I want like a background or something.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, that's all we got from that one. NATO general visits hood soldiers. NATO. His involvement in NATO.
So,
Major General of NATO's multinational division Southeast. Visits troops, training complex in Romania. Major General, 2-star general from Romania, spent time in 1st Battalion, 5th Cavalry Regiment during his training in
so he's
Sundown.
Romanian. It sounds like a fucking American, right?
Yeah. That was weird.
I thought that was going to be a perfect segue into part 3.
I was going to be like, you got to be shitting me. He can't be one of the dudes.
I'm telling you.
Wow. Convince me.
Yeah.
Jeez, bud.
Okay. So, all right. So tell me, before we go, how much money we've spent over there in Ukraine.
Oh, yes.
That really scared me.
That was weird. Where is
In part 3, we're talking about veterans selling their services to other countries, so that really scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, I
for
was
a
like,
second.
excuse me, what now?
Yeah.
Because you're wearing a flag, bud.
It really scared the shit out of me.
Wow. All right. So, and this is just this year. So going August to October
And
14th.
That's to the 14th, which
Yes.
was, what, 14 days ago, 15 days ago?
Yeah, because they most recently signed over. Anthony Blinken is Secretary of State, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
he's the one that needs to sign this at the end of the day, but he recently signed over another $725 million. And so this is going back just to August of 21. We have sent $10.635 billion over there. That's just this year, mind you. This isn't going back all the way, because when we first did Ukraine by the numbers, it was going back since before the build-up and all this stuff, back when Trump was in office, still sending money over there. But we're still over $10 billion at this point.
Just
since
this year.
Since August. So that's the thing. Yep. There you go. $10.63 billion. Or as Joe Biden would put it,
$1,400,000,740,000,000,000. It's hard to even say it. It's so much.
it's hard to even say it's that much.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, with that, everyone, we are going to go ahead and take our next break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes for part 3, talking more about the degradation of the United States military. Thank you guys very much. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Bye.
Welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you ready to